Howdy, and welcome back to the Speaker Mind podcast with your boy Humza. Today on the pod, I've got two friends. One, Anthony. Y'all know him. He's been on a couple pods.
Hello.
Same.
I'm back again to cause more trouble.
Back again. There is no video for this one, but just know that Anthony's wearing the same fucking clothes that he does every fucking time, and he looks hot.
Next guest.
Next guest. Okay. And for the first time, but not the only time, we welcome Miss Olivia Beaugaard. How are you doing, Olivia?
I'm good.
You want to introduce yourself or just...
I'm Olivia. I don't know what to say.
All right. Well, we'll just pick it up from there. Miss Olivia is about to go into the Navy. She's about to be a sailor, leaving for basic on the 7th, right?
Yeah. Well, technically the 6th, but yeah.
The 6th? Ooh. Wait, where are you going?
Great Lakes.
Great Lakes. Oh, in Michigan?
Chicago.
Chicago?
Chicago.
Oh, God. Chirac.
Dang, you better stay safe.
Yeah, on a military base. Like we said.
Yeah.
Well, that should be... Do you know what military base? Or, like, what's it called? Oh, you don't know?
No. I've, tried not to look up anything about it. I don't want to know anything.
That's kind of freaky, though.
Yeah, I'd be freaking out. Are you?
Yeah, I try not to think about it. Like, oh, you're leaving in a week. I'm like, stop talking.
That's right,
Like,
we're putting her on the spot.
Right.
I'm just, waiting to have a breakdown.
I was talking to her a little bit before you showed up, but I didn't want to, get everything out, you know?
Yeah.
But, what was I going to say? Does this keep you up at night? About to go into the Navy?
When I was hanging out with my friend in Manhattan all week, he was like, you leave in a week? That's crazy. And I was like, now that I'm thinking about it, is this a good idea? Is this what I want to do? And he was like, oh, it'd be fine. I'm like, it sounded fun, signing up. I'm like, oh, I get to travel, I get to be, all over the world. I get this nice job where I can make, 6 figures when I get out. And then I'm like, that's 4 years gone, leaving my dog. I care less about my family, but, my dog.
Yeah, I was about to say.
True.
And it's
I was going to say who you're going to miss.
My dog.
Yeah.
And it's I was like, I don't have anything here. College wasn't working. And then, all my friends were kind of leaving. And then it's as soon as, I had decided, and I started this new job, I have a new best friend, I'm making friends everywhere, and I'm like, well, I'm leaving.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, how is that weighing on you? Because I've talked to Crawford and he's already almost 3 years gone. So I'm just trying to get a feel I know you're excited and also nervous, but
I'm just nervous of failing. In my job that I signed up for, I know nothing about it, and its top clearance was even if I look up, I only know 0.1% of what my job is, so I have no idea what I'm getting into.
What's your job called?
It's crypto tech. So
Crypto
it's
tech.
Electronic warfare, missiles, radars.
Wow.
What the fuck?
All right.
And everybody's like, that's a smart job. You must be smart. And I'm like, I have no idea how I got it.
That sounds like a deadly job.
Well, but you'll be starting at square one.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. But I looked it up and it's air conditioned room. I'm like, all right.
All right, bet. Not going to be suffering in here.
Nope.
Dude, that's so crazy. When did you even consider going into the Navy?
It's probably November, because I decided college wasn't working, and I told my dad, I was like, I'm wasting money, I'm wasting time, I don't know what I want to do, no one supports what I want to do. Mm-hmm. And he was like, okay, we'll go talk to a recruiter. I'm like, wow, okay. Sounds good.
Yeah.
And
he
then
was quick about it.
Yeah, we went to talk to the Air Force recruiters, because Air Force, my grandpa was in there for 24 years, and he loved it. And so I was like, okay, Air Force sounds good. And they're the Air Force and the Navy recruiting center are connected. Mm-hmm. And so I went to talk to the Air Force people, and no one answered the door. And the Navy guy comes up, he's like, they're never here. You want to talk to me? And I'm like, yes.
Wow. So it was just by chance. You're just
we talked. I was in the office for 3 hours, talking, because I wanted to know everything. My dad was with me, so he could tell me all the bullshit.
Oh my god, of course. I
yeah.
mean, that you can't expect anything less from Mr. Nathan Beaugaard.
Yeah. He's like,
one of the
I
OGs.
was in for 3 years. I got kicked out for fighting and drinking.
So does he expect you to be doing that too?
He gave me a talk. He was like, don't drink, don't party, do your job, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, do I look like I do that? I'm hanging out with a bunch of seamen, drink and party, woo.
Right.
No.
Yeah, it should be, I think it should be interesting. I mean, I don't really know a whole lot about the military besides the people we've met and I don't know, documentaries or firsthand, Crawford's in the Marines. So it's the
That
top
man
of the
is a
jet.
full-blown Marine now. It is crazy.
Yeah, best of the best of the best, sir. Men in Black. Yeah, I don't. That's pretty cool. But what was I gonna say? Has your dad like? Has he been on your side with this? Has he been like, going to the military, like planting the seed for years?
Like it's always like obviously with, like the young Marines, it's always been a thing. Like eventually, like I grew up in a military family. Like my grandpa was in, my other grandpa was in, my other grandpa was in. Like, and
wait, how far back does it go? Like
on the Beaugaard side, I'll be 10th generation military.
10th freaking generation.
It like goes back all the way to the beginning, and I'll be like the first female. So like, what's up? But,
Yo,
dude, that is a power move. Oh my goodness,
it's actually kind of crazy.
And they didn't really expect anybody else to get in because, like, my dad and all his cousins, like, they all had girls. So, like, the Beaugaard name's, like, dead after us. And then my cousin Anessa, we're 6 months apart, so it's always a competition, like, with stuff. And she's like, after I said I was going to join the Navy, she's like, yeah, I was going to join the Air Force once. Yeah. And I was like, well, did you? She was like, no, but I think I'm going to drop out of college and join now. And I'm like, bruh, no.
Really?
Bro, no.
How original.
Yeah, like when I got my first tattoo, she was like, that's super cool. Like 6 months later, goes and gets one bigger in the same spot. And I'm like, really?
Just trying to one up you. That's toxic.
Yeah. Like, she's like, yeah, it was like $300. It's colorful. It looks like shit to start with.
Just wait for it to like the shitty cheap ink that
Yeah.
just like clots up and it's just like a
Back
bubble.
alley tattoos.
Yeah, it was like done in someone's living room too. Like she was like, yeah, my manager at a pizzeria is also a tattoo artist. And I was like, really? Where's her shop? She's like, oh, just in our living room. I was like, okay.
That's
yeah, fun.
That's how I got my first tattoo.
I
like
bet
this
she's got a
Moroccan
nice big license printed somewhere.
Yeah, on the wall.
laminated
frame.
too, because that makes it official.
Yep.
So, are you gonna get like a big Navy tattoo once you're done with basic?
Maybe like an anchor or something, just because that's already like a thing. Like my mom's really into anchors and shit, and my dad, like both of them have matching tattoos, like a pirate flag. Like my dad has sharks on his back, so it's like only right.
He's got
that I
the
get something
EGA
nautical.
probably.
The what?
The EGA, Eagle Globe Anchor.
No,
He doesn't have that.
mm-mm. He has like it's like a bulldog's head, and then it's like an anchor,
Oh,
and
okay.
a cigar hanging out of its mouth.
That's a lot better than just like the Marine Corps emblem.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So I'm like patching together a sleeve over here anyway. So I'd be like, just put something cool there. There's this guy I met at MEPS, and he was in the Navy, but like after boot camp, he like broke his leg. So he had to like go back and go through boot camp again because things had changed. And he has like, you can have hand tattoos in the Navy, which is cool. And he has like a big anchor and like stars and like stuff. And I was like, you going into the Navy? He was like, how'd you know? I was like, just guess.
I see the Navy as like, I don't know, like, because Navy SEALs, they're like, that's where Marines go when they want to go even further. So, I mean, I don't know. I have a lot of respect for the military in general. I just think the Navy's really cool. Like, you get to be on a ship, and I'm guessing like your basic is probably going to be dealing with a lot with water, maybe.
Actually, no.
No?
Like, I was freaking out, like, after we, like, went to the recruiters and we talked, and I had this huge pack that's, like, 50 pages you have to fill out about, like, your family and everything. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll start filling this out. My dad's like, so you're going to do it? And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do it. And he started crying. And I'm like, why are you crying?
God.
Why are you showing emotion? This is weird. And then I remember, like, I was walking downstairs, and I just stopped. And I'm like, Dad, I don't know how to swim or do a pull-up. I can't do this. And then he's like, you don't do it. We would like talk to the recruiters, like, no, you don't do any pull-ups, you don't do any of that. And your swim qual is literally swimming 50 yards, whatever swim you want to do, jumping off a high dive, coming back up, and then doing. Were you guys at the encampment where we had to like put air in our trousers and like
Air in the trousers?
No.
yeah, like you like wrap. Oh,
I never did that.
Okay, we like went to Cheney Lake, and they had some kids swim from the middle of Cheney Lake all the way back. And the rest of us were like, you have to like slap your trousers on the water and fill them full of air, put them around your neck and like float. And so that's like part of our swim qual stuff. It's in a blouse, and so we have to like slap it in there, like hold it.
Yeah.
But it's like the Navy SEALs teach like do the swim qual. Like all these big scary guys.
I feel like in the Navy SEALs, they probably take trousers and like do what they did in Young Marines and make like the sandbags out of them and like, all right, go float in the water with these on.
Right. Yeah, but the swim qual's pretty easy. Oh, that and like a 5-minute prone float, which is the only thing I'm worried about. Because you just like float face down. Like obviously like going for air. But I'm like, when I start floating and my feet start sinking, I start freaking out. I'm like,
I'd
my legs.
freak out just like that long underwater without like constant breathing. That'd be very claustrophobic.
Yeah, I would honestly die. I would just die in that situation. I don't think I could. I would just be like, and get water in my mouth, and I'm like, I'm fucked, help.
Yeah, and I was like asking, we have this new recruiter now because we have like depth meetings, it's like delayed entry, and she's like a female, so she was like talking to all of us, and she was like, no, like boot camp's literally so easy. Like if you can't swim, they'll take you aside and teach you how to swim. Like, she was like, they want you to pass. And she's like, what's your rate? And I was like, CTT. She's like, oh, they definitely want you to pass. And I'm like, if someone yells at me, I'm crying. Like,
yeah,
I'm crying.
Well, I mean, your whole recruit cycle will be with other women, right?
Yeah. No, I'm gonna be the only girl.
Only girl? Oh my God, you're gonna learn fighting skills too.
No. They really
goodness.
don't do that much physical stuff. It's all mental, really. Because, like, being on a ship, I mean, like, we run 1.5 miles. You have to do, I think it's like 20 push-ups in a minute or something, crunches.
Why don't we join the Navy?
It's easy.
What the hell,
and
dude?
do a plank, and that's all PT is, and it's all inside too. Like, and then the one big thing, so like Marines and Army, they're infantry, so their big thing is shooting and like combat and stuff, and like Air Forces, I don't know what they do, but like Navy, it's firefighting. You do a week of firefighting because if you're in the middle of the sea and your ship catches on fire, you can't call 911, so you have to learn how to be a firefighter.
Oh my God. At that point, would you just like start drawing in water and like?
I don't know. I haven't gone yet.
You're right. We'll have to do like a post basic.
Come back, I'm like traumatized.
Come back and you're just like, let me tell you all my secrets.
Yeah, I should be back
I have
July,
a deep
August.
phobia of water now.
Right. Wait, you said July or August you'll be back?
Yeah, because like I think with the Marines and Air Force, you go to basic, you come home for 2 weeks, and then you go to your school. With Navy, it's like I finish basic and they ship me out to my school the next day.
Oh.
So I don't even get to come home. Like,
but your parents will probably be there for
maybe
graduation. Oh.
Like, okay, because I was thinking about it, because like with COVID, you have to wear masks, and I think you only have 2 people, especially with the new variant. But I was wondering, because like you have to be vaccinated to like go into basic and everything. So I'm like, what if they make the guests vaccinated? Because I know my dad would refuse to get vaccinated, even if it was to see me.
Yeah.
So I'm like, and my mom can't because of her heart. So I'm like, probably just have my grandparents come because they're vaccinated. But
that is pretty crazy.
yeah, my dad's like, I'm gonna get my dress blues to fit, so when I come see you, I can wear my dress blues. I'm like, please
my
don't.
God,
Just
just
wear
start-
regular clothes. Like,
Just
just wear
start
like
on all the sailors.
like Navy dad shirt or something. Like,
Navy dad.
I told my mom I was refusing to get her a Navy mom shirt because Braden did that after he sworn. He got her an Army mom shirt and then never went. And it just sits in her closet. And I was like, I'm not like tainting it. Like, I'm not doing that bad luck.
Braden traded in the Army for a wife. You don't want to get into...
No, we can get into it.
How is Braden doing? I haven't seen him.
He blocked all of us.
Well...
He called us dumb cunts and blocked us. So...
Braden, we gotta talk.
I haven't seen Braden. in a
I've
very
also
long time.
not seen Braden in several years. Like
I remember when we were like first talking about doing the podcast, I already said there was like issues with his girlfriend, fiance, whatever. But like it got worse. Like Christmas Day, he like him and Amelia are like tight, like super close. I'm not really close with any of my siblings except for maybe Amelia, just because I do my own thing. But he like had Snapchat Amelia the day of Christmas, and we had talked like we were like leaving to drive to South Carolina that night, so I wanted to like everyone go to my mom's early because it's like my last holiday home. So I wanted to spend time with everybody. And then he was like, okay, well, Friday night we have Josie's family Christmas, and then Saturday we have another family Christmas, and then we'll be there. And I'm like, why are you going to all the Josie's stuff? Like, you just saw her family the day before. Can you not come see us? Like, this is my last holiday home. And I'm like, I'm not trying to make it about me, but I want to see my siblings before I leave. And he's like, yeah, we can try. And then didn't show up till like 1 o'clock. And like we had to leave at 3. And he has Snapchat me. He's like, I'm gonna propose to Josie today. And she's like, don't do that. He was like, why? She was like, first of all, it's a holiday. Don't propose on a holiday. Second off, like, we're trying to like have family time, and he always makes it about himself. So all of us refused to like take a picture or do anything for him. And so after me and Amelia left, that's when he proposed in my mom's front yard in the trailer park. Oh my God. With a big fake mama ring. Like, I guess people can't afford a ring, but if you're getting a fake one, make it look real. Like, did you see how big that thing was?
I did, in fact, because I commented on Facebook saying, I said, like, damn, Braden, that's a fat ass diamond.
He's probably like, yeah, they know it's real. They think it's real.
They don't like my comment. But yeah, I was like, damn, that's a big ring. Like, he went balls to the wall on it. But now I'm finding out it's fake.
It's a big fake fucking ring. Yeah, it's like $8.
That's $8.
Like, you know, when you go to Walmart and get that little spinny thing with all the rings, he's probably like, ooh, that one looks real. Picked it out.
He couldn't even go in the glass case.
Why would he do that?
I don't know. He's your brother. I haven't talked to this man.
He would tell us, he was like, we never, like, as soon as I started dating, we would never see him anymore. And he's like, we just can't afford it. We can't afford it. And I'm like, when you were with Alyssa, even though she was a cheater, she at least, like, you guys made effort to come see us. You, like, would be dirt broke and you'd still come see us. It's Josie that's stopping you. And then we had said something because he made a comment about him and Josie having sex on Amelia's bed after we left that day, and she's like, that's disrespectful, don't do that. He was like, it's just a joke, chill, why being such a bitch all the time? And then she was like, I don't care, that's like disrespectful to even say something like that. And so then he was like, I don't know what your deal is lately, blah blah blah. And Amelia's like, well, I'm not going to your wedding, like joking around. And Josie was like, we don't care if you're there or not. And Braden was like, yeah, and like stood up for Josie, not his own sister.
Hey, yo, Braden, what the fuck, man?
Yeah, I'm like, I have the receipts, I have screenshots.
Oh my God.
And so then, like, me, Amelia, and Braden, Mallory were all like, dude, what's your deal? Mm-hmm. And then I had screenshotted it to, like, keep it. And then he's like, what, you gonna show Nate? That guy never did anything for me. He's nothing but an abuser, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, where? And then, like, I'm like, you can, like, talk crap on me all you want, but don't talk crap on my father. Like, he stepped in when your own father didn't, and he tried to, like, help make you a man, and you just, like, shit on him.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really comment on
my dad's an asshole. Like, we all know. He's mean.
Yeah, we've had experiences with your dad, but I mean, I don't want to comment on family business, but It did seem like your dad did try his best to be
and like
Braden's
they did
life.
not have the best relationship, especially towards the end, and like Braden's got anger issues like no other. And so it's like my dad like tried to help him, but he just didn't want to do anything. And like there's like nothing like with my ex would talk shit on my dad all the time, and I'm like, I know I talk shit on my dad, but I'm allowed to.
Yeah,
like
that's
he
a bad
raised me,
sign.
I lived with him. I'm like, you do not say anything like about my dad like that. And like when we broke up, he was like, just like your dad, I hope you're proud. I'm like, what, a hardworking person? Like, what do you mean just like my dad? And I'm like, that's
a red flag right there if he's talking shit.
That whole relationship was a red flag, but I'm like, green.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I can't imagine that. Like, that just does. I would never talk shit on Riley's dad because there's going to be one day when, like, I got to go to him and be like, I'd like to marry your daughter, right? You can't just be like, oh, yeah, fuck your dad. But then, like, if you guys were getting, like, more and more serious, and then he's just like, well, I guess I got to talk to him. I feel like your ex might have been like that. Do I have to talk to him or something like that?
He, like, refused to go to holidays if my dad was there. I'm like, you can't do it for me? And he was like, I don't want to see your dad right now. And I'm like, you don't even talk to him anyways. Like, what's your deal? Yeah. I'm like, I heard all the stories about your parents who are far worse than my parents were, but I still am respectful and I talk to them nicely. Like, you can't do that for me? Shoot, that whole relationship was, like, effed up. Like,
even to, like, this day, if I saw your dad or, like, even, like, Chip, I'd be like, hello, sir. How are you doing, sir? Just because, like, since we were 13 or 14, they're just, like, on our head every week.
What
do you guys say about that?
Unforgettable memories with those gentlemen when we were...
Yeah, they are real gentlemen. Like, your dad's a really good person. Like, he was there for, like, I saw your dad at times at Young Marines more than I'd see my own dad. So...
Right.
And that's saying something because I like didn't even see your dad. It would be like once every 2 weeks, you know, at like drill or something. But yeah, relationships can be whack. Would you say that the Navy is like your new relationship?
I hope it's a better one.
Yeah, I'm sure you're
married to the job.
Yeah, married to the money. That E1 pay, you know, $1,400 a month.
That's pretty good.
Not really. I made more working at Hardee's. Then I will.
What is Hardee's?
Hardee's, like it's like Carl's Jr.
Oh, so it's like a burger.
Oh, Hardee's?
Bro, I don't really eat burgers like that.
It's good. I mean, after working there for a year,
Hardee's
like
is burgers. I thought it was fried chicken.
Thinking KFC? Like you're thinking Cane's, maybe?
Okay, Cane's is okay, but
Hardee's, home of the charbroiled burger. That's what our T-shirt said.
I don't know. I like Spangles, you know. Spangles got good food. And it's not biased just because I got an employee with me.
Their fries are good though.
Listen, Spangles fries are from another planet, motherfucker.
I have been working at that place for about 3 years now. You have not come to the drive-thru to see me once.
Because you told me not to. You said don't show up. You said don't show up. You said don't show up.
No, I didn't.
There's a Spangles like 0.3 miles right over there. Why am I gonna come up to Park City to get some get some fries off you?
Never mind.
I already told you if I pull up to
I figured maybe if you wanted a little snack in the Amazon truck.
I'm fucking crying. Dude. I never delivered to Park City, but next fucking time, if you were working and I'm there before like 1, I'm gonna pull up. I'm gonna pull up to the Spangles. I really will.
But you do work for Amazon? I saw you when I was at my recruiters the other day. I was like, is that Humza? Yeah.
Oh, right by the Chick-fil-A on Rock?
Yeah.
Yeah, I usually
had a
deliver
meeting
over there.
Well, when you go in for a meeting, if you're in the JEP, the delayed entry, you're supposed to walk in, like, left face, salute the flag, right face, salute whatever petty officer's in front of you and be like, Future Sailor Beaugaard respectfully requesting permission to come aboard, like going inside. Mm-hmm. And they have to be like, permission granted, whatever, and like all that. And then when you leave, same thing. You're supposed to request to go ashore. And I remember my recruiter was telling me that. I had the best recruiter. Like, that man's funny. And he was like, showing me how to do it, everything. And he's like, you know how to about face? And I was like, hell yeah. Like,
hell yeah.
I was a young Marine. What do you mean? And so I had to do all that. And then he was like, okay. And then I start walking out. He's like, what the fuck are you doing? And I was like, going home. He's like, no, you need to salute me and do all this. And I was like, oh, my bad. I thought we were doing that next time. And so then I did it. And then the next time I went in, I was like, I don't want to do that. So I just walked in real fast and I turned the corner and I'm like, here for my meeting. I'm like, I feel stupid. And the last meeting I had was at like 7 a.m.
But you're saying that you saw me outside of the recruiting office?
Yeah, you were like pulling in and then I like was about to pull out.
Did I look depressed?
You were just like, yeah.
Holy shit. I probably
Why would you
was.
say that?
Actually, I don't know, because I usually deliver in like the Andover, Benton area, even like sometimes in Towanda. Didn't you guys used to live in Towanda?
Yeah, my mom still lives there.
Yeah. But yeah, that particular day I had like a different route or whatever, so I was over by that area and that's really weird. I've had that encounter before. Some people hit me up and they're like, I just saw you there. And I'm like, did I look happy? That's what I say every time. Did I look happy? And they're like, I mean, you look like you were working. And I'm like, probably not happy.
Yeah, like when I
just contempt.
Right. I'm just sitting there. I'm probably listening to J. Cole or something trying to get me through the day. But you're saying your mom still lives in Towanda?
Yeah, same house. I don't know if you guys ever like visited.
Oh yeah, we went there.
Is it the same place where with the shelter, the tornado shelter?
Yeah. We played
the
Manhunt.
one where we got
I wasn't there, but I know what you're
Braden,
talking about.
Zach got chased by the police after jumping off of it.
Oh my god.
That was crazy.
Yeah, what was your
I remember that place
since
very
we were
well.
all in Young Marines, what was your favorite Young Marine moment?
I don't feel like there's a moment. I feel like there's just a lot of worst moments.
Yeah, like there wasn't anything where I was like, man, that was awesome. But I remember like this one memory like vividly. I don't remember. We were like at some like not really rec center, but it was like some baseball fields. I think we were doing like maybe a color guard or something.
Yeah.
And it was after I'd been promoted to Lance Corporal, so I was like third squad, probably third squad. They put me in the back, like third squad leader, and Cleve was in my squad, and we were doing cleanup where you like have your hands out, you know, take a step, pick it up, because we like had to do something, and I was like in charge. So I was like, Cleve, you missed a freaking piece, like yelling at him. I'm like 12, yelling at this big 17-year-old, but I'm like, you missed a piece. My dad's like, you need to chill, you're on a power trip. I'm like, you know how weird this guy is? Like,
right, no.
That dude was a little bit of a menace.
Caleb Cleve, if you're listening to this, you're fucking weird. He's probably listening from his prison cell, low
right.
key.
He would like hit on Amelia when like Amelia was 8. Like I remember that, and I'd be like,
whack.
Wait, hold on.
bad.
That's actually
That's
illegal.
fucked up.
yeah, because he's like 15, 16.
No, he definitely had something wrong with him. I remember talking to like Edwards about that, because like we'd all be like friends, and we just like afterwards you just start ragging on whoever was the most shit that day, and we just be like, oh, fucking Cleve is just a fucking yada yada yada, just a big dumbass fucking retard or something like that.
Oh my goodness. No.
But he was like I'm pretty sure there was something wrong with him. Like there was something mentally wrong with him. I've heard like when the adults would be talking about him, they'd be like, yeah, he's on like this prescription or something like that. Like, I don't want to put too much information about there, but I was like 15 or 16. I'm hearing adults talking about this kid, and I obviously know because I'm like the same age as him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're actually wilding, dude. Like, you're wilding out.
He's
Like,
like on something.
literally, like my mom was pretty helicopter. I feel like his dad should have been like that too, just on his ass.
I remember his dad like talking to the parents all the time, like showing up. He's like, my dad's here. I'm gonna go jerk off and mess
Right.
around. Like,
My
right.
God.
Yeah.
I remember one time we were doing, what was it called? It was like on Thursday nights when we would like go mow.
Community service.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One time it was like we didn't like none of us want to be there. It was like middle of the summer in Givens. Do you guys remember Givens?
Of
Kyrie.
He started
course.
doing
Kyrie.
the rain dance, and it like started downpouring. He was like, "It's my rain dance." He started doing it, started downpouring. And they were like, "All right, inside." We're like, yeah.
Dude, I completely forgot about those. The Thursday night community service.
I hated
at Camp
going to
McCormick.
those.
Oh my
On those
gosh.
hot ass days, man, you get done
Mhm.
with school and they're like, all right, a couple hours later, time to go to McCormick and mow the grass.
You're just walking around with a bunch of people you know mowing a big yard.
Literally. And then like they have like Edwards on the big mower or Sundyne or something like that. You
And
know?
all the girls would be inside like scrubbing floors. Like,
Everybody's
didn't even-
inside
That's where you
sitting
belong.
at those raggedy tables with their guidebooks,
oh my god. Yeah.
studying for promotion.
My goodness. That was such like like the whole time I was just like, that wasn't a great part of my life. Like I was getting a lot of mental abuse, not particularly from my mom, but like from the church we went to. And like coming to Young Marines and just seeing like the same people week in and week out, it just made me feel like really alone all the time. And it just made the sense of Young Marines like even more weird and like stressful when I showed up.
I felt like it gave a lot of us a good sense of like, it's kind of like a forced group of friends, you know?
Kind of like a really weird, messed up family. Like,
Yeah. Did we ever? I don't think Humza has ever spoken about Young Marines on the podcast before. But context is it's this youth program that you go.
ages 8 to 18. Like,
Yep.
anytime someone asks me what the Young Marines are, it's like engraved in my brain. Like what they'd make us say at like when we'd be
I
at color
forgot.
guard.
I'm actually
It's a
ashamed
youth
of
program, ages 8 to 18. Like,
nonprofit
discipline-
youth organization.
Discipline, integrity, responsibility. Like, ugh.
It's
Yeah.
all that on the front. That's the face of the, program. But
Do you
then you
guys-
get in there and it's a lot of just sweaty kids and
Getting
gray
yelled
sweats,
at.
like wanting to die inside.
Do you remember the national encampment when our group got in trouble for like working too hard?
Yes.
Literally, yeah.
Mr. Weber, because he had us like jogging around the campsite and picking up
Yeah.
trash or
True.
something.
And
And
there's
it-
other kids like not even like in the right uniform,
Right.
like hair messed up, and we're over here like,
Dude, we were strapped up. We were ready to go. Like I remember we had to run places and we were used to that. And they were like, no running on the campgrounds because it was like rocky
Yeah.
in the terrain. And we were like, oh, we have to walk. And Mr. Weber was like pissed off about that. He was like, man, this is a stupid ass program. Like, and some of the leader, like the COs from other units were just kind of like part-time, And here we
Yeah.
got like Chip Weber, like retired Marine. Is he retired?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
He's still a Marine. Your dad's still a Marine. They were on our ass all the time. So it was just kind of crazy seeing the difference between all the kids there and like our unit. I feel like
Yeah.
we stood
No,
out.
when that literal thunderstorm hit our camp and we had to all get in the what's it called, the
tents.
chow hall or whatever,
Oh yeah.
and we were literally running up there and in the rain and lightning all around us, they're just like, walk, slow down, slow down, and we're just like, no.
I remember that.
We're
That was,
running.
that was an interesting week because all the girls were up at like the top of the campsite, and like all the guys in our unit were down in like this little
down in this like
Yeah.
secluded forest area.
Yeah,
where you
we're-
could break your ankle just going out to take a wee.
like you have to go down into it, and then our campsite was like on a tilted freaking like slope, and it like rained, and we got all this water on us. It was just not a fun time, but the whole thing was pretty cool. I enjoyed it.
Now, do you remember when? Because my tent partner was Little Russell,
Yeah,
Oh my
and he
god.
woke like the whole camp up one night because there was a black widow in our tent.
talking about a spider.
I mean, reasonably so. That was a good thing he woke us up, but man, it was annoying.
I remember that because I was like, damn, I should have got with Anthony in the
Oh.
tent. And then I ended up being with Crawford, and I remember like the first 2 nights, me and Crawford were just like a cappella singing Eminem songs to each other to go to bed. And he was like, "Bro, I miss my mom." I'm like, "Yeah, bro, I miss my mom too." Because it was cold, and we were like, "Fuck this,
bro, that's crazy." Young Marines will really do that to you.
Like away from everyone.
Yeah, now he's overseas.
Yeah, and now he's on Instagram, like holding guns with cigars in his mouth and shit. It's amazing.
Yeah, now he's part of a
crazy.
brotherhood much bigger than his regular brotherhood with Nolan Crawford. I wonder if Nolan listens to this.
I doubt no one listens to this. I don't think
That is
no
twin
one
brother.
listens.
Yeah. Are you still in contact with people from Young Marines besides us? No.
No, because I wasn't ever really close with anyone. Like I don't know if you guys remember McNair. She was the
Yeah.
only like girl
Oh,
my
the girl
age,
one?
and then me and Ward were really close until she, went off and eloped with
Oh, Lord Jesus.
Mr.
She went on a
what's his
honeymoon.
Man, we
name?
could spill all the beans on everyone, but I'll just leave it.
You've spilled a lot of beans already.
I've spilled a shit ton of beans, but Olivia opened the can, so
Yeah, I'm good at
she opened the
that.
can and I just started shaking that bitch.
Don't.
Shaking it all out. Like that Mario game where you have to like shake the shit out of the jar. You know what I'm talking about? On the Mario
Fucking
Party.
Mario Party.
Riley knows what I'm talking about. You have to shake the shit out. Yeah.
Oh,
Candy shakedown.
Anson,
A candy shakedown.
you weren't here when we were talking about who else is in the Navy. Remember the Hanson sisters?
Oh wait, I think my mom caught me up to speed with this. Is it the one?
The youngest one.
It's the youngest one.
Mm-hmm. She's in the Navy.
Bro, I can't.
That makes me think. I asked my the recruiting center, the supervisor, so he's like the highest, like in charge of all the recruiting centers like in the area. And my dad asked him about it. He was like, "So Hanson, like she was in Young Marines with us." He was like, "Oh, her," and I was like, "Oh, inform."
Oh
And he
please,
said,
I
like,
need to know.
So when you go to MEPS, you like talk to your recruiter, you go over all your medical paperwork and like make sure everything's like true.
Yeah.
And then when you're on your way to MEPS, the supervisor will call you and go over everything, like ask you questions. You have like 3 people that call you to make sure you're not like lying. Everybody is.
Did they just ask you random questions when you pick up?
No, there's like a list of questions.
Oh,
like when you
interesting.
fill out the medical paperwork, it's like 200 questions.
Oh my
Like
God.
they get everything.
Yeah.
But like I asked him about it and he was like, yeah, when she had her supervisor meeting with me, she's sitting here picking her nose, looking at it while I'm talking. And I'm like,
Sounds about right.
oh my God. Like you think she'd, I was thinking whenever my dad told me she was going to the Navy, I'm like, maybe she's like, sharpened up, like whatever. But sitting there picking your nose while you're talking to a freaking petty officer, like, are you stupid?
That definitely lives up to the memories.
Then he was like, he's like, I don't usually talk crap on my police, but like, she's something else. And I'm like, well, we'll see if she makes it through boot camp.
No, dude, that whole situation when they're in that program with us was very weird. Like, I felt like I was a patient at a mental hospital with
It was
all these
even
different...
worse, like being a female, because you remember after PT we'd have like 10 minutes to change, and we're like the girls' bathroom. I'm sure they're like the same as the guys, but it's like all of us sitting on the floor trying to change, and she like wouldn't have underwear, like wouldn't have this, and it's just like, you're how old? Like, and of course I was like the highest rank, even though I was like the youngest, and so I'm like, dude, like what's your deal? And I'd like have to go report it, and I'm like, now she's going into the Navy. I'm like, you have fun.
Oh my goodness. What if you run into her? What are you going to say?
I'm not gonna say anything.
Nothing? She's like, I don't even know
Run
you.
and hide.
She'd be like, Beaugaard? Is that you? The one thing that sucks, like I spent 5 years of my life like in that program, and since I was younger, I couldn't rank up as quick, so I was like corporal when I got out. If I would have been corporal staff sergeant, right? If I would have been a staff sergeant when I got out, I could go in as an E2 right now into boot camp.
Wow.
Like if I would have stayed in like 2 more months.
I was about to say, you didn't age out of the program, did you?
No,
So you're not going to get that instant promotion.
No, because I resigned. I remember having to like make the paper because I was like, I can't do this anymore. And then Amelia left, Braden left, you guys left. It was like everyone's like dropping like flies. Now they have like 5 people.
That
in.
is kind of crazy, bro.
I
It really
remember
was
that.
a domino effect.
It crumbled.
Everyone just like fell out so fast.
I didn't even like age out. I was just like, Mom, I'm done. Like I'm working, like I was working at the Warren at that time. I just started, got my car. So I was like, new job, car payments. Like I'm done with this program, Mom.
Yeah.
I'm not doing this. And she's like, okay, I don't care.
Yeah, I remember when I dropped out. dropped out. Like when I resigned, my dad was like made this big deal about it. But I was like, it wasn't like when I first got in. Like we weren't doing encampments anymore. Like all we were doing was color guards and promoting.
Yeah.
And now, you remember what's her name? Sorgel, little Sorgel. He's a gunny sergeant now.
Yeah. How old is that kid? Like
At McCormick?
15 now?
Yeah.
Something?
Like he's got ribbons stacked. I'm like, they're just giving this stuff to anybody.
Right.
Like-
you had to grind for that. You had to go on a whole fucking encampment
Yeah.
or like 3 or do like 18 color guards before you get one tiny little ribbon on your
Yeah,
shit.
but remember, that's what Becker was really on about too.
Oh my God, Becker would
Gung
ho.
Becker would always talk about that, how we needed to do more stuff. He thought we were catering to the younger kids.
That motherfucker used to show up like in his own car, and I'm pretty sure he had like a whole gun in his car when he showed up to young men. Like he was so in it, and then like kind of like befriended him there and started to realize like, wow, Becker wants to like take over this whole fucking unit. I was like, bro, it's not that serious. Like I appreciate the support, but like we're doing our own thing or some shit like that.
I said something about, because he was Catholic. I said something about like Catholic people. He went off on me, and I was like, 12. You're in the middle of a 12-year-old because she doesn't have the same religious preference as you, and I'm like, okay.
There's such a weird dynamic. You have
Yeah,
like,
that's the crazy thing about that program. That will really have you like, as like a 17-year-old genuinely arguing with an 8-year-old.
yeah, or like, and you were like 12, and you said you were a Lance Corporal.
Yeah, because
And
I was like 13 when I got out, and I was a corporal when I got out.
Yeah, dude. Like I didn't get past PFC. I got PFC just for like the fuck of it, and then I was like, I still gotta report to like kids that are 3, 4, 5 years younger than me. I was like, what the fuck is this program?
You remember hygiene checks? You'd stand outside and check your fingernails.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God, this is all.
I remember like nitpicking everybody. I'm like, you were mean to me. Fingernails are too long. You were mean to me. Irish pennant on your blouse. Tried me.
Yeah, the little.
I still get my IPs with lighters. Yeah.
I remember like, or sorry, now these days I still like when I walk I still kind of like heel toe, like arms moving like that. I'm still calling everybody sir, ma'am, this and that. I just can't get it out of my head. You know?
Yeah.
Which it's a good thing. Like you should be calling everybody sir and ma'am.
Yeah. Anytime I meet like a veteran out in public, I just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna hit you with this charisma.
Oh, immediately, just
Watch
like,
this.
Hey,
thank you, sir.
Do you know what an about face is? I do.
I do.
Want to see me do it twice in a row?
Yeah.
Remember when we had those like the drill, where they're like drill competitions where you do like an about face.
Yeah, and you like
left-
drop out if you're like.
Yeah, and they're like, oh no, you can't do a left face on an about face. You gotta do an about face again, like 2 about faces, then you can. Oh my God, that shit was hilarious.
Sorry.
Oh, go ahead, you're fine.
I'm just like, I'm glad when I go in, like I at least know the basics of marching, my faces. I know how to blouse my boots. I know like how to do all that. So I have like one step ahead of people. But the way the Navy marches is like diagonal. Like they do some weird stuff. And I'm
like they're like lined up.
well, they'll like go straight, but it's like, you know how we would all like left face and like you pivot on the pivot. Like, everybody will say they like go diagonal. Like it's weird. And I'm like, I'm gonna be tripping. Like,
Honestly, if I were to join the military, I don't think I would have any other choice but the Marines.
Brother, what?
are you dumb?
Bro, what?
I don't know a lot about the military, so take that.
I feel like you do good in the Army.
I'm only saying Marines because purely based off of all the knowledge I have from young Marines.
Yeah,
If that would be
I
useful.
definitely know like the ranks of like at least Marines. I don't really know like Coast Guard, Navy, Army, and what's the other one? Air Force, Chair Force. Yeah,
Space Force.
Space Force.
now.
Oh my God, yeah.
Force.
What do you think about that? We have like a.
I didn't
6th
know that
branch.
was real. Like we were at MEPS and they were like, we know all the Space Force people line up. Like, that's a real thing. I thought it was a joke. Like I did not keep up to date.
I guess Trump implemented that, but it's still like under the radar. Like I don't really think about it. Space Force.
I don't think
sci-fi
Imagine
shit?
me
I'm
like,
not
Mom,
thinking
we
about it
joined the
unless
Space
they got
Force.
like a structure in orbit. That's
Right.
let me know when that happens.
No, dude, I was actually thinking about that yesterday when I was thinking about this podcast today. I was like, yo, Anthony could actually go into the military now because you've been like steadily like working out and shit like the past 6 months or something.
Yeah, but that doesn't make much of a difference in the military. It's
Yes, it
really,
does.
Well, I mean, kind of, but you still got to be like really disciplined.
Brother, you can be disciplined. What are you talking about?
Man.
They drill that shit into you while you're there.
Yeah, true.
I'm not telling you to go do it. I'm just saying like I feel like you could do it if it was your last option.
I feel like I'd be really homesick though.
Oh yeah.
I was homesick during some young Marine encampments. What was it called? Leadership school.
I never went to that because I was too young.
Yeah, I never did leadership school, and I bet all the people watching or listening right now are probably like, Humza, we have no fucking idea what you're talking
we
about.
don't know
care.
what
We don't care. Literally, talk about sports.
I was
remember-
literally gonna say, go talk about some football or something.
Yeah, whenever they'd send people off to leadership school, they made that stuff sound tough. They're like,
Right.
You do all of this, and I'm like, I don't want to go. I don't want to go.
I remember Edwards told me about a time where he went and he slept walked off a bunk bed and just fell on the ground. And I'm like, how'd you not break both of your legs? And he's like, I don't know, bro. And I'm like, you're fucking invincible, man. That's all I gotta say.
Leadership school was basically just like national encampment, but like more small scale and more like concentrated.
Yeah. Was there, how many people were there? Like 15?
It was like a handful from like 8 different units. And they all came to this one spot in Oklahoma, I think.
I think it was Ohio.
Yeah, it's
Somewhere.
We all
Ohio.
went to Ohio.
Yeah,
I
I don't
think.
know. I can't remember.
Remember DDR?
Drug demand
Drug
reduction.
demand reduction.
Let me tell you something.
Did not work.
It did not work.
Did not do me many favors.
It just taught me how the shit works.
And you're
but-
like, okay, this is what I should stay away from. This is what I should do.
Yeah, like, oh, this one affects me like this. All right. Yeah, all that shit, like, I wouldn't say it's a lie, but it was definitely a scare tactic.
Yeah.
And like Shannon told a story about her doing certain substances and like her experiences and shit like
You
that.
remember they told us about what was it called? Like Angel
Angel
Dust. And they're
dust.
like, this guy ripped his face off, and I was like, I'm
Yeah.
never doing drugs in my
Right.
life.
They
This is
shot him
scary.
twice in the head and he was still walking.
And his dogs ate his face. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like,
Now you can just log into TikTok and that'll be like the first video you see is some doing like angel dust. They're just like,
It's crazy the stuff that they can get by on social media.
bro, I tried to upload like a vintage 2014 just like shit post that I recorded back then onto TikTok, and it said it violated community guidelines. I was so pissed. I think it was because I recorded myself peeing in a toilet, like recorded the stream, and I recorded myself putting peanut butter on my face, and like I was wearing like the green shirt that we had. I was like, this must have been right after drill. Like this is some PTSD moment, right?
Yeah.
Like putting
He's
peanut
like,
butter
I'm
on
gonna
my
send this to my friends. I'm gonna be a star.
in the group chat. Oh Lord.
Yes, I still have that chat because I use GroupMe for work.
And like for the soccer thing.
Yep.
Yeah. I went through all of our past chats and stuff from years ago. It's
I was-
traumatizing.
We did a lot of shit talking back then, bro.
Yeah.
I was thinking the other day about how ridiculous it was. They had kids like 8 having to request to not go to drill. Remember, like the papers we'd have to fill out why you weren't going to drill, what day you weren't going to drill, and they could like deny it. And I was like, I remember I didn't go in time because like my friend's birthday party. My dad's like, "You just got promoted. You're a squad leader. They're gonna take your position away." And I'm like,
Right.
"Not my position."
No.
Like,
Not
It's like-
demotion.
It's only like I don't care.
Seriously. I remember like I had a helicopter mom, so being at Young Marines was awful because after drill, everyone would just go over to like Shannon's house or go over to like Chip's house or like your
Yeah.
house or something. I'm just like, fuck, I gotta go home and read the Bible, I guess.
I guess.
But yeah, it
Man
was
just goes home, reads the Bible, and listens to
Christian.
Tyga.
Rack City, bitch.
I think back and I'm like, why did I take that so seriously? Like I remember on Veterans Day wearing my uniform to school.
Wait, no, I never did that. I never.
My
did
dad was
that.
like, "It's Veterans Day. You should wear a uniform to school." And I'm like, "You're right."
It was my
"Wait, what
I
grade were
should-
you in?"
It was like 5th grade.
bro. It was my senior year.
Old
at
enough to know
Andover.
that was dumb.
Did you do that?
That's Edwards had done it for like 2 or 3 years straight, and he was like, "Come on, bro, it's senior year, like Veterans Day, you should do it." I'm like, "Okay, I'll do it." Like, I was like getting into a program. I was kind of like losing more weight, and I had like gotten promoted or whatever. I was like, "Okay, I'll do it." And then like I told a couple people that I was trying to be friends with in high school about it, and they just immediately grilled me. They're like, "What's Young Marines?" And I was like, "Oh God!" And then they like kept asking me and like learning more. And then by the time Veterans Day came around, I was like, I'm not doing this shit. Like, Zach, I can't. I'm going to get flamed at school. And he's like, bro, I get flamed every day. What are you talking about? Like, just do it with me. I'm like, all right, I'll let you know. And I just wore some fucking shitty clothes to school. And I saw him and everybody was like looking at him and shit and like asking him like, I should have done it. But Zach's like fit, you know, he's fucking skinny as shit back then. And I was just still a lard ass to a degree. So I was like, I'm not showing up looking like a fake fuck with
Could have been both of you though.
It could have been, man. We could have gotten saluted by our principal or some shit. Shout out Bob Byer.
So y'all just need the spotlight, don't you?
God. It was crazy. But overall, are you looking forward to the Navy?
Yeah, I guess. Like,
Guess?
the more I think about it, the more I'm like, this is a big commitment. Like, and I could be stationed somewhere like completely awful.
Yeah, but I mean, if you do your 4 years, you'll only be like, I'm 23. You'll be done by the time you're 23. So it's like you'll have all this credit and like hopefully money and like education. You can just go to the moon after that.
I went to South Carolina for Christmas, like I was saying, and my uncle was in the Marines for 16 years, and he was like, me and your aunt made a bet about you going to boot camp. And I was like, oh, what's it about? He was like, yeah, we think that 6 months after boot camp, you're going to be married. And I was like, what? I was like, because I would always joke about it, because like BAH, like, you know, you get more money if you're married. I'd be like, I don't believe in marriage unless I'm making more money. And they just caught on to my jokes, and they're like, all right, 6 months after boot camp, you're going to be married. And I'm like, what? No,
I couldn't see that.
And everybody's telling me, like, when you go to A school, so like Marines have a thing they call AIT, Air Force calls it tech school, we call it A school. So I'll be going to A school for like, I think it's 12 weeks. And everybody's like, oh yeah, when you go to A school and you're like out of boot camp, you're just like integrated. He was like, everyone's like, you're gonna get an A school love. Like, you guys go on 8 weeks without anything. Like, you're gonna fall in love. And I'm like, the fuck I am. I'm like, you know what my job is? I'm gonna be with a bunch of nerds, like some boys that have never even seen a girl before.
Oh my God.
Like, I'm just gonna stay in my room and study.
Yeah, you're gonna. I just feel like the Navy is full of a lot of nerds.
Yeah.
Yeah, Navy and Air Force, because the Air Force is like the brains of it all, right?
No.
No? It's the Navy?
Okay, living in Wichita, 2 miles away from the Air Force Base, you go on Tinder, all you see is Air Force guys. Stupidest people I've ever talked to. Like, dumb. I hung out with this one guy, and he was like a big car guy. And like, okay, but like annoying about it. Like, he'd be talking. I told him, I was like, dude, I have no idea what you're talking about. You're wasting your breath here. He'd be like, okay, well, my 2,000 horsepower. And I'm just like, please stop talking. Like, take me home.
Just a meathead.
I love the memes about military guys coming out of basic and they immediately like fucking $15,000 Camaro just on the spot.
Mm-hmm.
That shit has me so dead because you know it's true. Like that's all you see pulling out of the Air Force Base and going into Air Force Base. Or like
big jacked up trucks.
Right. It's just like, bro, we get it, you micro penis, but
come on.
That's why you join the Air Force, because you got a bigger brain than you do a dick. Mm-hmm. Or I remember talking to my grandpa, and he was in the Air Force, and I was like, you ever get to fly a plane or anything like that? Because, you know, Air Force. And he was like, I flew a desk for 20 years. And I'm like, that's the most depressing shit I've ever heard. But he liked it, I guess, so.
Yeah, that's how my grandpa was. He like got drafted into the Marines, and he was like, absolutely not. So then he joined the Air Force and tried to score like as low as he could on his ASVAB so he could get an easy job. Yeah. He ended up being an aerial combat photographer in the middle of it all. And then he liked it so much he stayed in for 24 years, and he was an E7 when he got an E8 when he got out, and E9's like the next highest before you're an officer. And he like was about to get that promotion. They're like, okay, but we're taking away your wings and your like combat, and you were going to have a desk job. And he said nope and left.
Yo, that's a movie. Like, imagine you go in there trying to fail to not be in the thick of it, and you end up right in the thick of it, and you love it.
That's some Full Metal Jacket shit.
It is.
Yeah, and then he retired from there, worked at Cessna until he retired from there. That's one reason I wanted to leave, is because like there's no jobs here, like unless it's like the big jobs are like working in aviation. And I was like, I'm not working in aviation. Everybody in my family works in aviation. My dad, my grandpa, like my aunt is in Georgia working for Cessna. Her husband, the one that's in the Marine, he's a air traffic control guy. I'm like, everybody in my family works in aviation. And so as soon as I got that job at the metal machine shop making parts for airplanes, I was like, no, I'm not doing this forever.
Yeah.
That's when I was like, I'm getting out of Kansas because there's nothing here for me. Like, I've had so many opportunities to leave, but I just stayed for like stupid stuff.
He's pulling out the notes. He's got them labeled.
Deadass, I have okay, I'll just tell you what I have. It says Olivia Beaugaard pod questions. Why Navy?
Good question.
Inspirations. So let's go with that. What are your inspirations? Not only for, I mean, it's kind of obvious inspirations for the military, but just in life. Who or what are your inspirations?
Like, what do I want to do?
No, just like one of my inspirations is Bob Marley. Just a great guy, and you know, y'all know fucking Bob Marley. But like anyone, like who's your inspiration to be Olivia Beaugaard?
I don't really have anyone I really look up to. Like, I try to like, not to like sound like cliche, but I'm like, I try to like focus on myself and like who I want to be, not necessarily following after someone else. I guess like if anybody asks, like I'd be like Nikki Sixx. Like,
who's Nikki Sixx? Is that
exactly
That is
a streamer?
That is.
He's the bassist from Motley
You
Crue.
are ridiculous for saying, "Is that a streamer?" You are going to make so many people mad. You say that.
all the,
Twitch
like,
streamer Nikki Sixx?
any men over 40 right now are like, what?
Yeah,
That's
you
good.
just made a lot of enemies.
I expect a bunch of bike riders to be at my house knocking down the door.
Expect some
You know
fake
Nikki
fucking
Sixx?
boinkies.
I was just talking good stuff about your dad earlier, and now he's probably gonna be like, "Hey, yo, what the fuck, bro?"
You know, like, I don't know. I just like his story. Like, he started out like really broken family. Like, his mom was like an alcoholic. You know, all his
Ooh.
stepdads would like beat on him, and then he like changed his name. Like, was trying to like, he didn't know anything about music, didn't know anything about playing instruments. Like, he wanted to join a band, but he didn't know how to play. And they're like, okay, go get a bass guitar. He goes and steals an actual guitar and learns to play bass on an actual guitar,
Oh, wow.
and then like makes this like kind of like an empire, like out of like the band, like Motley Crue. Like, he created it and like all of this, and he actually has died before and he came back to life from a heroin overdose. And like his story's
Oh my
just
God.
crazy. And like even now he like is still trying like to make music. He has like multiple different bands. He has 2 books, The Dirt, which is like everyone in Motley Crue wrote it, and then he has the Heroin Diaries, which is like from the 80s. Anytime he'd get high, he'd write in it. And then he like found this diary when he's packing up stuff, and so he made a book out of it. But he'd like have the like in like the entry from when he was high, and he'd go back now and like write about what actually happened. And it's just
Wow.
like, he's like very insightful.
That actually sounds like a very interesting book.
It's really good.
This motherfucker, he's like, I'm finna go on Amazon right after this and get it. No, that actually sounds great. I might actually look
Well, it's
into
about to
that
get
too.
packed away for 4 years if you want to borrow it.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll,
really good.
Yeah, I'd love to read that. That's really
give
cool.
it to him.
I mean, I feel like you'd definitely be able to do it on heroin than alcohol, because I have tried to do that on alcohol, like just write down what I'm thinking and yada yada, and I'm just like, I think I just want more
can't do
alcohol
that.
actually. What'd you say?
Just sitting there. I'd just be sitting there looking at the paper,
Just looking at people like,
looking at the
damn,
pen.
who gave me that?
Why is this
How'd
shit
this get
moving?
here?
What do you think of that Post Malone song, Motley Crue?
It's all right. Like, when I listened to it, I thought like Motley Crue was gonna be in it, and I was like, oh fuck yeah.
Right?
But
That's
then-
what I thought too.
I mean, I kind of get it because like their names derived from like Motley Crue, but like CREW, so it's like that's a Motley looking crew. Like, it's like badass kind of
Is that what Motley means?
something like that.
Like
Yeah,
manly or like
It's
Mot?
like slang.
yeah.
Bro, that's what I'm saying. I know like Olivia knows a lot about older music, and I know like fucking nothing. I know a few
Oh, I
artists.
used to
who-
like stay up watching documentaries till, like 5 in the morning. That's like engraved in my brain. Someone like
Who's-
says Guns N' Roses, and I'm like, what?
Is that your
wasn't
favorite
fact.
band?
Motley Crue?
No, Guns N' Roses.
No, it's Motley Crue.
Motley Crue.
Motley Crue or Def Leppard. 'Cause Def Leppard also has an interesting story.
What's the most popular Motley Crue song you think I would know?
Probably like Kickstart My Heart. Shout out the devil.
How does that go?
Kickstart
my heart. Like that?
No, it's like you seen Talladega Nights.
Yeah, but
They play that
that's
song
kind of a
in
white
there.
trash movie.
Yeah, but it's good. I grew up in the trailer hood. Okay. That's my
Okay, yeah,
shit.
you're right. I'm shooting at the hood. I'm sorry.
Come on.
Come on, Mister.
Listen, I'm uncultured, man. I grew up on Christian hip hop, and then I would download, like back in high school, I would get like the MP3 downloader app, And I was so obsessed with
no.
like rap albums and like artists at that time that I would get like the right song, make sure it was like trimmed down so there wasn't like some kind of remix to it at the front or back. And I would get like the album cover in high res. I'd get the song name. I'd get like all the artist name and stuff. And I would like manually put it into the MP3 thing. And that's what I was on. So like Lil Wayne, the Carter 4 and stuff like that. Oh my
That's what I'm
gosh.
saying. He was just listening to Young Money.
I was listening to so much Young Money, man. After I heard
It was just Drake.
I can make your bed rock. Brother, I was on Tyga for a solid 2-3 years straight.
I can't remember what I was listening to, but I was.
No, you like older rock, don't you? Like heavy metal.
I mean, yeah, I tried to dip my toes into all of it.
I mean, shit. You
Like
got tons of
I
guitars.
find myself like cycling. Like I'll listen to like hip hop for a little bit, then
Yeah.
I'll go back to like the
That's
heavier
why
stuff.
You are?
Yeah, I hate when people are like, "What's your favorite genre?" I'm like, it depends on my mood because
Right.
like I think your music, what music you listen to, like the aesthetic that you are, it's like stupid to have like one.
Yeah.
Like people are like, "What's your aesthetic?" I'm like whatever's comfortable. I might be wearing like cowboy boots one day and like freaking Docs the next. Like
Yeah.
I don't think. I mean, the only thing I wouldn't listen to in my free time is like country. But country can be on at like a wedding and I'll listen to it, or like some kind of barbecue. Like it's good in that setting. But you're just in your car, like listening to country. You must have got a promotion or something.
there's
Fuck.
some country music that's good, not mainstream, but like there's like kind of like Red Dirt, like Zach Bryan, Coetzel, Tyler Childers. They're all really good, and
Is
like
that more like
all
foundational country?
what does that even mean?
Like
Right.
grassroots kind of type
No,
of country.
like you know how like music on the radio is like my dog in my truck and dirt. Like
Yeah.
no, their songs are like
Fucking
kind of like
beer.
poetic, like in the way they sound.
Oh, okay.
Like, really
just like
good.
guitar and just talking.
Yeah, like most
to-
of them are like acoustic. Like the lyrics are like A1.
Dude, I'm gonna have to check that out because I like country in that sense. Like it's backroads poetry. I sound so stupid right now to myself, but yeah, I don't like radio country, fucking like Old Town Roads and throwing like 808s in there and like boom 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 in my truck.
Now, listen, I
with
can do
the
it. No,
beer.
I like regular country. I don't like that country. I don't like the rap country.
You like your dad's
Oh my
type of
God.
country.
Braden
Country is good for nostalgia because my dad's a hillbilly.
Yeah, that's true.
Braden used to be like obsessed with country rap, like freaking
Oh.
Earl Stibble Jr. and all that. He has a tattoo that says Creek Squad. I was like, what is that supposed to mean? He's like, it's a song. I'm like, didn't you break your leg jumping over a creek? Like,
Why is it always like part of a young man's childhood is jumping over a creek or some big fucking thing of water? I know.
Yeah,
Is she
you
a
know what I'm
probably
talking about.
snapped your leg in two.
Yeah, we used to go to this creek by Anthony's house and just like explored and stuff. And I almost snapped my legs one time jumping like 15 feet across some mud and water and
Sand.
sand
yeah, it's
and
like
shit.
I was happening with Braden. He was like hanging out with, I want to say like Edwards and like them.
Yeah.
And no, he was hanging out with my cousins. And then like went to jump over and like hurt his ankle. And then he had to do a color guard the next day. And it was like windy and then like rolled his ankle and like broke it.
You were in the circus color guard, right?
I know where
What?
this is going.
The circus color guard?
I don't remember. Like,
Nah, she was younger, dude. Okay, so like one time we had a color guard, and if you don't know what a color guard is, it's when there's two people, one person on one end, another person on the other end, and they are basically quote guarding the flags as they go out and present the USA flag and like
It's the Kansas
state
flag.
flag.
state flag or like a Marine flag
then-
or something like that.
In our case, the Young Marine flag.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
young Marine flag.
we didn't have a flag. Did we?
No, it was the Marine one.
Yeah, we didn't have
Okay.
a flag.
But this one, it was a much larger one, not 4 people, but 8. So we had one guy on either end with a rifle, and then there was the United States flag, and every other branch, I think, and then like Kansas.
This sounds familiar. Like I barely remember
You-
anything about
I
Young
feel like
trauma brain.
I feel
is
like once you hear what happens, you'll be
So-
like, oh.
It was at Hartman Arena. There was a circus, and there were 8 of us, and we had only gotten like 10 minutes to really practice, but we didn't practice our movement, and we were supposed to all move together in a line like this, move
yeah.
together. But then we like whoever
We
was on
fucked
the
up.
we fucked up. Whoever was on the national flag made the call. I think it was Edwards, but like we just like folded on each other.
We folded and ended back to back with each other, and then we had to like scurry back into the correct position with these giant heavy ass flags, and it was just such a oh my god moment that
You
you're
guys should
just
just like stayed back to back and then like faced and just marched out.
Right?
Left.
we should have just like went improvised.
I'm pretty sure Chip said something like that afterwards. He was like, y'all should have just walked away from each other. I'm like, whoever fucked that up. I don't know who fucked that up. It was years ago, but man, that was really funny and really embarrassing. That. I don't even know, dude, but I can't get it out of my head. Like,
this the shame, the immediate like weight on your shoulders. You're like, oh, everyone saw that.
And it was probably like one of those veteran nights where all like the veterans like, come in their hats. And they're like, they want to see something. Like, let's see what these like 10 to 15-year-olds got or some shit. And we just absolutely shit the bed. And then we just like kind of scurry back into formation. We're all in a line and we just left, right. And we get off and I think we got grilled.
Then we all put our heads down.
Put our heads down. Go find your seat.
It's like, all right, let's gotta go talk to Mr. Weber. He's gonna scream at us.
You know how much they scream at like little kids? Like I think about that. I'm like, I'm 8 getting screamed at.
Yeah, I'm just like getting pushed to my absolute limit by an old man that I just met.
Right. That's like one thing I'm worried about boot camp is yelling. And my dad was like, but I yelled at you like your whole life. You should be fine. I'm like, you're the reason I cry when I get yelled at. What do you mean I'm going to be fine? Like, yeah. And the stupid thing is like, and like Marines and everything, it's like, yes, sir. Or like, sir, yes, sir. We have to say petty officer, yes, petty officer. And I have a lisp. So that's not going to be working very well.
That's a lot of syllables.
And be like, petty officer, yes, petty officer.
Oh my goodness.
I'm going to feel dumb. Like,
especially if I can't say P.O.
Huh?
P.O.
No.
Like
yes, P.O.
No. And like the thing that sucks is when you're walking like in boot camp and you see like someone of higher rank walking towards you, you're supposed to stop, salute, be like, good morning. But all the ranks look the same. And there's 5 different versions of petty officers.
Oh my God.
So I'm be like, petty officer 3rd class?
Right. When you're passing by, I'm like, I
actually don't have my glasses. Can I see your patch for class? Like,
yeah.
Can we start like putting little tags?
That was the cool part about the Marines in general is their ranks are pretty easy to figure out. Yeah, super
easy. Every other rank is like easy, and like the Navy's the only branch where you have to say their full title. Any other branch you can say like sir, yes, sir.
You remember when Mr. Wen kind of got his kid in and joined the program and was like a registered adult or whatever?
Yeah.
And he like took it from like 8 to 12 and or whatever, 0 to 100, and like all the other adults. I was trying to think of like 1 to 10, but I just fucked it up. What? 0 to 100, and all the adults were like, "Oh, he's serious." So like everybody else got to like lift their game up. So like your dad was like on our ass, Chip was on our ass more, Mr. Wen was screaming at us, and I just remember all of us were like depressed as hell, and he would just always.
For some reason, I remember Mr. Wen's presence most at that like rifle encampment.
Oh yeah, that was really fun. I remember that. It was like a couple of years.
I also remember he had a joint Facebook account with his wife.
Yeah, I remember
that's
that.
Bad sign.
That's so crazy. That's a sign that someone cheated.
That's a sign that someone's getting pegged.
I remember
You did not just say that about me.
Couldn't find me, bro.
Come find me for a fist fight.
Imagine like you're at a bar and you just like you're like getting a fight, you're about to like, why are you pushing me, bro? Yada yada. And he's like, bro, I'm a Marine, I'll beat you up. What are you doing? You gonna fight a Marine?
No.
A coward.
I don't like competition. I would not put myself in a scenario.
I want to see I want to be a fly on the wall on Crawford and like his whole unit or whatever. Like I want to see what he's like.
Yeah, just a day in the life of Crawford.
Day in the life of Crawford, bro.
Make him wear a GoPro.
Oh, I wish we could. Like
he just wakes up,
body cam,
picks up the nearest MRE for breakfast.
It's definitely a bottle. He's definitely got a handle with him, or something.
He's got a handle. He's like out having a morning cigar with the boys before he goes shoots people.
I hope he doesn't have to shoot anyone. Man, that
I hope he doesn't. I hope he
up.
doesn't have to go through anything that like.
Yeah, Edwards
troubles him.
Edwards told me that I believe Chip had to shoot someone and or kill someone when he was deployed, and I just think that's the craziest thing ever. I asked him like, what kind of stories has he told you, and he's like, he doesn't really tell me.
That's how my dad is.
Yeah.
Like I knew he got shot, but he didn't like tell us anything. And I remember one time at drill we had like downtime, so he sat everybody down and like told like everybody the story. I don't know if you guys were there, but it was like he was in wherever Desert Storm was, like over in that area, he was doing like cleanup for Desert Storm. And so he was like, they're like patrolling and there's still like people out there. And he said he was in a Humvee and these kids, like 12, 13, come out with like guns, start shooting at them. And it goes through his buddy's leg into my dad's shoulder and they have to like shoot these little kids. And he's like, I'll never forget it. And I'm like, I'm like, now I see why you're, why you do
so crazy. That
Desert Storm, that was like
like
early 90s.
Yeah. And that's like one thing that sucks is he didn't even get like it's like Purple Heart you get when you get shot. He didn't even get that because it wasn't during war.
Wow. See, it's all politics, dude. I don't know.
And then like with the whole thing with him like being asked to leave, or like he didn't really get kicked out getting asked to leave, he like lost a lot of his ribbons for that because he
got honorably discharged.
So what had happened was, so Marines known for like drinking and fighting.
Yeah.
That's how my dad was, and he had a really big issue with drinking, and so he had requested to go to rehab. So they sent him to rehab, and he wasn't supposed to like be near bars or anything. Well, he was stationed at Camp Lejeune, which is in California, and there was a bar outside of the base, and he would work there part time as like a bouncer, and he was there, and there was a master gunny there, like beating on his wife, and so my dad went and beat the like fuck out of him, and so then they both like had to go talk to like the officers or whatever, and the only reason my dad got demoted, and the only reason he got demoted is because he was in a bar and he wasn't supposed to because of the drinking, but the gunny got demoted down to a private and was forced to retire.
Awesome. Glad that happened to that guy.
But the only big reason they had my dad leave, and he was out in a few months anyways, like his contract was up, but he was gonna re-enlist because he wanted a career out of it. But the only reason they had him leave is because when they were downsizing the military, so they couldn't like afford to have that like someone getting into shit like that.
Yeah, I feel bad for people that have been in the military, especially during like crazy times, like when it's literally war, like you're fighting for your country, but it's not war because the government didn't declare it. It's so stupid.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Thank you, Mr. Beaugaard, for your service. Really appreciate that.
Thank you to all members of the U.S. military.
All my friends, Crawford, Becker, soon to be Miss Olivia Beaugaard.
Don't forget Hanson.
Hanson, you're out there with shitty underwear.
She is going to be out there.
Watch her be like in the mental hospital with my friend.
She is the protagonist.
I'd love to see her jump off the boat. I can't swim.
I was asking my friend. She said a lot of people from her like platoon or whatever it's called are being medically discharged or in like the mental hospital. She was like the whole military floor is like filled. Like she's in like the attic floor. She said like she got put in the 900 division though, which is like the people that perform at graduation, supposed to be top of the class, top of your PT class. Yeah. And she was like, I wasn't prepared for like all that extra stuff. And it was like one of her RDCs, that's what they call them instead of like drill sergeants, the RDCs, had told her, it was like the female, she was like, I don't care if you have mental problems. I don't care if you're going to kill yourself. Your mental health isn't important to me. I'm just here to do my job. And then her other RDC looked like her brother who had like sexually assaulted her for 5 years. And he's like telling her like, you're worthless. You're not going to be anything. So like just past trauma and stuff got to her and she had a breakdown. And that's why she like got put on suicide watch.
Oh my goodness. It's just a job.
No, and that's like, I'm trying to tell myself, I'm like, they're just paid actors. They're literally getting paid to yell at you and like be mean to you. And
what? Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, my recruiter was like, just think of it as like a summer camp where you're getting yelled at. And I was like, are you kidding me?
Like fat camp.
A lovely summer camp.
All right. Well, thank you, Olivia, for coming. It was good to see you after
too long.
I don't know how long. Too long, for sure. And thanks for coming, Anthony. Sharing our Young Marine stories and whatnot.
Happy to chime in.
Hell yeah. But yeah, I wish you the best, and I hope you pass with flying colors, and you do.
Yeah, good luck in the Navy.
I'm like hella proud of you for doing it, because like even if it's like your last option or you don't know, like it's still really cool and really admirable that you're doing that. So.
Thank you.
All right, y'all. Thank you for listening to the Speak Your Mind podcast, and I love America, and you probably don't. All right, goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, shit.